He takes our breath away all the time. Among the things Connor McDavid does regularly is go over 100 points, even in a shortened season. So what we're going to do in this segment is focus on those kind of plateaus. The first one's going to be 100-point scorers, and we're going to ask these two over-under versus last year. To no one's surprise, last year, Connor McDavid led the league with 123 points. He won the Art Ross Trophy again. It's my job to chisel his name. It's very, very easy. It's simple to spell. There it is. There are 8 players that climbed above the 100-point mark this year. At this point, this year, as we come down the home stretch, there are 3 over 100, but you can see quite a few creeping in that direction. So I turn to you, Connie, and I say 8. Over, under.
I'm on the over, and I'm the eternal optimist. Well, I think we are all optimistic, but I just love the way that goal scoring is going in the NHL this year. It's up, and the skill is coming to the top, and we're seeing that on a lot of different teams and a lot of different players. And, you know, I just look at a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who never has scored 100 points in his career. I think he's at 94, 95 now. He's got an opportunity to blow past that. He's never had more than 70 points in an NHL season. This is his 12th year in the NHL. And yes, he plays with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, but he generates a lot of offense himself. He is, you know, one of those. He was a first overall pick back 13 years ago when he was drafted first overall. So he's got the talent. I think it's coming to the top right now. I think he deserves a lot of credit for being in the NHL as long as he has. And you see the numbers last year, only 63 games, but still 75 points. 35 goals this year. It's absolutely amazing what he's doing. He's going to crush 100 points. Good for him. There were some lean years in Edmonton, and he suffered through it, but he never gave up on his team. He never gave up on his on the organization. And this could be a very promising year for the Edmonton Oilers. They could go all the way, but there's still a lot of hockey to play. I just love the way he's played this year.
I feel great for him. Over, under, Torch.
Over with about 5 A's. So I would say it comes down to Robertson. I got 9 in there, so I'm really optimistic. But I think Robertson, you know, he's got to get 9 points in his last 8 games, and I feel good about it, and I think he'll get a lot of them on the power play. I think when players are focused in on those marks, Tony, where, you know, he's 100 points is unbelievable, because I never believed this when I was in juniors. The players were talking about, oh, I'm going to be a defenseman that has 50 points. And you're like, kind of makes sense. You want to see that in your stat pack, and that's something to look forward to and something for them to push for. And I think for Edmonton, again, they're going for the all-time record in NHL history for power play goals.
That's extraordinary.
Really big.
From your part of the country, there was a defenseman who had 100-point season after 100-point season. How do you pronounce his name?
With 5 R's.
So good. Next, this is a special plateau. 50 or more goals in a season. Lean back, gentlemen. Rockets going up, plural, for Austin Matthews. Back-to-back Rocket Richards. Draisaitl 55. Kreider had that massive leap, 52. And Ovi, of course, hit 50 because he's Alex Ovechkin. So that leads us to this year, where 2 players have already gotten above the 50-goal mark. Pasternak, the first to do it for that organization since Ray Bourque, who did it in less than 50 games. I said Ray Bourque, but it's not him. It's the gentleman who was in the movie. Cam Neely. That's right. I turn to you, Connie, and I say over, under 50 goal scorers compared to last year.
I'm over. There's guys that are sitting on 47 goals right now, and if they don't get 3 in the next 7, 8, 9 games, you know, that'll happen. And when you're talking about Leon Draisaitl, when you're talking about, Mikko Rantanen, who's got 48 goals right now for the Colorado Avalanche, he's just had a heck of a year. And keep in mind, too, you know, some people thought that the Colorado Avalanche would have a little bit of a Stanley Cup hangover. They did at the beginning of the year. But they were also without Nathan McKinnon at key times of the season. And Landeskog has not played a game yet this year. The one constant has been Mikko Rantanen, and he has been Mr. Clutch for them all year long. It's good to see. I think he's just gotten better and better each and every year that he has played. You know, and people don't realize what a big body is.
He's huge.
What's his nickname? Moose, right?
Moose.
And he plays like a moose, and he starts to play with a little bit of an edge now. So really like his game, and he'll be one of those guys who hits 50 goals for the first time in his career.
Gretzky did it in 39 games. Just pause and just think about that for a second. Okay, now, Torch, over under 50 goal scorers.
Over, for sure. And I'm going to include Thompson, and he's at number 6. He's at 44, so he's got to get 6 goals in his last 9 games. He's had a goal this year, a game where he had 5 goals in one game this year, so I'm hoping that mark gets up to 6 players over that mark. But and to back up on Rantanen and Pasternak led their teams when they had injuries, which is incredible. And, you know, like I say, Rantanen to me should be definitely a MVP. Same as Tage Thompson should be MVP for their team. He's been a great leader. And without Tuck in the lineup, you know, he had a couple of games where he wasn't getting a lot of offense because everyone was focused just on him. And but I think down the stretch, he's going to be focused and shooting on the power play. And your teammates are going to recognize it and feed you a lot more down the stretch.
We saw that with Pasta. The other players were deferring, trying to get him to 50. He got there, and he's still going. Our next category, defensemen to score 70 or more points. Remember last year, Roman Josi got close to 100. Boy, did he have a spectacular year. Cale Makar, 86. Victor Hedman is always producing. Adam Fox, of course, the only Norris winner to not go to the playoffs. And how do you say that last guy's name? John Torch? Carlson is how he says it. Same guy, same pronunciation at least for the last name. Erik Karlsson with 91 points and a gap of 19 between him and the second highest blue line scorer, Quinn Hughes. Over under as you look at that field. Connie.
I'm part of the defensemen's union, so I'm over on this.
Attaboy.
And, you know, I saw Dahlin there with 65 points. I think he'll get to 70, so if my calculations are right, 7 guys will have 70 or more points this year. And it's a new league, and it's a new NHL, really. I'd say over the last 5-6 years that, you know, defensemen have always been involved in the offense, but now more than ever, they're like rovers out there. They're just always jumping up on the play. They're almost like a fourth forward out there. So I look at a guy like Quinn Hughes, and he doesn't get a lot of press here because he plays in Vancouver. They're one of the poor teams in the NHL, but he's just done such a good job of marrying his offense with his defense, because defensively I still think he is really, really good. Maybe he doesn't get enough credit for his defense, but Quinn Hughes really drives the offense in Vancouver. Elias Pettersson, I don't think would be the player he is without playing with a Quinn Hughes back there. He can skate the puck out of trouble. He can pass the puck out of trouble. He's got quick feet. He's a fast player. You know, you'll be hearing more and more of Quinn Hughes when Vancouver starts to jump up in the standings.
How about you? Over, under?
I got over, and I think Darlene's got to be the difference for them. He's got to get 5 points in the last 9 games, which I think he can do, and I think he'll get it by shooting more, which will create a lot more rebounds. And also, you know, I'm a big believer in the NHL now. You know, we've been teaching our players for the last 15 years to be 4 up in the rush. It's 5 up now. So all D are active in the offensive zone. You know, when defensemen are coming in and coming out, the other D's coming down, making, you know, on their cycles. So they're very active. You know, if the forward's in the middle and they got a triangle in the middle, the weak side D plays the weak side dot. So it's and it keeps more pucks alive. And I think that's why the offense in the NHL has really changed a lot in the last 5 years.
We've seen rookies come into this league right away ready to contribute. And last year, the rookies with 20 or more goals, that group led by Tanner Jeannot. Cole Caulfield, if he had just had more of Marty St. Louis, he might have scored 80 goals. Once he took over, he started scoring at a torrid pace. There's the group. Trevor Zegras, you're a national treasure. There's this year's group. Wyatt Johnston, he wears chaps and he rides a horse to the games. I heard. I don't know if that's true. So I turn to you and I say he's one of the 3 that are at 20 or higher, over, under this year.
I'm under this year. So I've got 4 guys scoring 20 or more goals. You know, last year Bunting was a rookie, but he was, 24 years of age. So he's an older rookie, so he was the 5th guy. So it's not that much of a difference, but a guy I want to kind of center on is Kirill Marchenko. And he plays for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Probably doesn't get enough press, but the season he's having there, and it hasn't been a good season for them. And sometimes that can get to a young player. But his first year in the NHL, right now, now he is sitting on 20 goals. His next goal, he will set a record for rookie Columbus Blue Jacket players. Never been done. Well, it has been done. 20 goals was scored by Pierre-Luc Dubois, but he'll break that record. So good for him in a down year in Columbus. It's nice to have a little bit of sunshine, and Kirill Marchenko has certainly provided that.
There was once a Calder winner who was like 31, and that changed the rules. Russian player came over.
Markov.
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
We'll confirm. Coming to you, over under.
Push.
Whoa!
I think it's going to be a push, and I'm hoping that McTavish can finish up strong here to make it a push for them. I think he's starting to feel more comfortable as a rookie in the offense. He's not worrying about dishing off, and he's not worrying about taking a shot when he needs to. He's comfortable in the offensive zone sets, and I think this one's going to be a push.
A push is a bold call. The game is over under, and he just said push. I like that. That takes confidence.
Always speak the truth, buddy.
I dig it.